Melle Mel's been talking about everybody, right? Dropping videos, the art dialogue, interview, and dissing everybody, right? That nobody wants to rap like Eminem or Kendrick Lamar. I think that's the most recent thing that everyone was like going crazy on the internet about.
Yeah,
So, what did y'all watch the video, or did y'all just see the headlines, or what were your reactions?
All I
I
saw
watched
was
some of
that
the video.
screenshot you sent. What was his point?
So,
They ask all these questions, man. It's an
yeah,
interview kind of.
it's an interview. So they asked him Billboard top 50 stuff,
Right.
and Kendrick Lamar's number two, I believe, on that list. So he talks about how nobody wants to rap like Kendrick Lamar, or Eminem for that matter. And so before to give context to this, because I think it's important to give context. When you search Melle Mel on YouTube, all right, this is what pops up. These are the top search results. Okay, let's listen to just these titles.
Okay.
Busta Rhymes is better than Jay-Z. Categorically does everything better than Jay-Z. All right, that's the most recent.
Okay.
Second one is Eminem being white is the reason he's the top 5 rapper of all time. If he were black, he wouldn't be on the list.
Okay.
Is rappers want everyone to stop snitching, but they snitch on themselves. And then the next one is he says he would easily beat Eminem in a battle. And then the next one is Tupac is greater than Jay-Z. And then the next one is Lil Wayne is not a top 10 rapper. And then the next one is I think you're getting the point. The point is
I didn't hear not one wrong thing, so it sounds like Melle Mel know what he's talking about.
Lil Wayne is definitely a top 10 rapper. Lyrically, no, but if we're talking about top tens, then he has to be on there. But
We haven't done that here,
anyway,
and maybe we will at some point because we did a quick top 5, top of your head, top thing, and that wasn't like I don't know.
I mean,
Wayne might be in there. I don't think he would.
Favorite top
He's
fives and top tens I like. I hate the whole let's list out every rapper and then I don't like. I mean, and this is one of the points he made about is like what criteria do we use to rate these rappers?
Right.
And he was saying with the Billboard stuff, like he would want to see the criteria they use because his thing seems to be mostly about impact, right? So when he named people who were truly great, he said Tupac. When Tupac came out, everyone wanted to be like Tupac. Everyone still wants to be like Tupac. Everyone talks about Tupac, right? So he said that's impact. He says himself, they made the message. So he says that was the first song that made that had a message. Hip hop had a message. So he said that he's one of the greatest of all time. He mentions who else he mentions? Rakim. When Rakim came out, everyone wanted to rap like Rakim. So to him, greatness is you did something that no one else did before you, and everyone wants to copy it afterwards. That seems to be his definition of greatness.
I feel like it's so easy to quantify, so easy in theory to quantify how important somebody is. If you just put everything on a sliding scale, like longevity is a certain percentage of greatness, somebody would have to sit down and do all this. That's the hard part.
But it's still going to come down to an argument. When you say, "Oh, this guy's lyrics are better," and I don't, then it's going to come down to our opinion. There's no way, even if you break it down, it's hard to make it where music is science. It's not going to be that for everybody, for every aspect. So, I mean, when you do this impact thing, that's fair. That's one way to look at it
for sure.
And so I don't know how you end up, with what top 10 would be satisfactory to him. But I mean, I agree that Eminem is boosted from being white, but I mean, he says that he's not like it's not like he's sitting around acting like it's all me. He said that since day one that people were gonna give him.
Yeah, he compared himself to Elvis a bunch and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, okay. So we talked about this in our last video. We talked about some shady LP and stuff like that, which I think now might be his best album.
It's definitely his best. Marshall Mathers LP is not.
Yeah, it's not. We're gonna review that. We're gonna review it. We'll save that for another time. But I think we talked about this before. I don't think that the greatness of that album is because he's white. I think that's unfair to him. There are other white rappers.
Right.
People are not calling the Beastie Boys the greatest rappers of all time.
Right.
They're not
MC Search not getting that type of love.
People aren't putting evidence in you know, there are other white people aren't saying Bubba Sparks is, you know, like, so it's just, I think it's disingenuous to say that the reason why he's top 5 is because he's white. Like, there's more to it than that.
I think his whiteness matters though a lot.
Yeah, like you said,
it's just hard to. Yeah, I mean, it's just I wanted to after we. So I know we said we were going to talk about that Marshall Mathers. So when I listened to it, I wanted to go back and listen and look at what they wrote about it at the time. And all I could find was like a couple of articles, and they're acting like this was like handed down by Jesus, like the Mormon tablets of the extra commandment. I'm like, as a grown man, it's interesting for a grown man to listen to that stuff and put it there. I don't think they would do that for the people like he said. So, you know, part of that is the record label, the machine involved, and the Dr. Dre cosign.
But see,
you know, all that mixed together.
About that same thing when we talk about like Kendrick. Kendrick's number 2. I mean, they got Kendrick number 2. Eminem number, I don't know what he
Kendrick
was.
should not be number 2. So I see why Melle Mel hating on.
Right. And so here's the thing with these lists, a lot of it is about, and we talked about this, it's about marketing. Jay-Z's number 1, he's got a huge marketing. I mean, one, we talked about his music is marketing in of itself. And then I mean, it's marketing, it seems like, right? Eminem had a big marketing push. Kendrick Lamar, big marketing push. All these people are big marketing pushers. So I feel like you could say that about any of them. You know, it's not. Yeah,
they always throw in some old school artists and stuff to say, "Oh, it's an authentic list" or whatever. But you know, it always ends up with, you know, going to be certain type of popular people. So, I mean, look, that list was trash. We already acknowledged that the list is not good. So, and we went through and show why. So, I'm not going to sit up here and get mad about that. I see when they asked Melle Mel a question, though, he answered honestly, and I pretty much agree with everything he said. I mean. He gives Busta Rhymes a lot of marks because of his skill level, his originality, and all those type of things. And he says he could do everything Eminem does, but you don't see nobody saying Busta Rhymes is the greatest. And he would say Busta Rhymes is one of the greatest. Yeah, or the greatest, I think he said.
I think the reason why people don't say that is because Busta Rhymes never put together a complete album. And that way we can review some of Busta Rhymes' albums, but
I don't think Eminem has, so.
I mean, you thought very highly of his first album. I mean, you said it was after the skits. Sure. So
no, so I'm saying, you know, we'll go through it. We'll talk about it when we get into his catalog. We're gonna be doing that soon. But yeah, after listening to it, that his first one is his best album.
I agree. So we'll get to it. I mean, I think the Eminem show we really listen to.
Melle Mel, shout out to the legend, man. Melle Mel still come to your house, beat you down, boy. It do like this.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
What I'm saying? But look, he's still nice though. I don't look. Melle Mel is not to be joked about, man. Melle Mel, he was on that song. You heard them songs with what's his name? Where he had 1 million rappers on him. K Slade, rest in peace.
Oh, I don't remember like.
Oh, that was like the last like 2. I think he had one like couple years like 2020 maybe 2019 something like that. Rolling 50 deep, and we got 50 MCs.
Yeah,
and it's just like and it's like mad rappers on there. Melle Mel got bars on there. Look, Melle Mel got bars.
Correct. Melle Mel correct for sure.
Don't ever question Melle Mel pen, man.
I'm not saying Melle Mel's. Like,
but I think some people will say, "Oh, who is this dusty Negro? Why do we care?" You know, and they don't know Melle Mel. Is a legend, did legendary stuff. You know, that message verse. Come on, man. Everybody know that verse by heart if you love hip hop. Bryson don't know it. But the rest of us know it.
I've never heard of that song.
You never heard the message?
Yes, it's like a jungle sometimes. Make me wonder how. Yeah, come on. You know the song.
Oh, okay.
You just don't know the name of it.
I didn't know that was him.
Yeah, don't push me. cause I'm
Yeah, I
close
got
to
it.
the,
Yeah,
you
I
know
got
the
it.
song.
Man, turn as soon as we finish potting, you gotta go listen to the message, man.
He knows this. He's heard the song.
Right. If you
It's
don't know that, if you don't know them verses, though,
no.
a child is born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. You got to know that.
I didn't know
You
that
got
was
to know
him.
that.
Okay.
You got to know
Right.
that.
No, because okay, this is the reason why I think this is the reason why people don't know. First off, because those songs are, I mean, the title, the artist's name would be Grandmaster Flash in the Furious Five. He's part of the group. He's like the lead, man, but it's
I was
named
about
after
to say,
the
I didn't think that was by him. I thought that was by, yeah,
well,
okay.
it's a group and it's named after the DJ, like that's
Yeah.
how it works, So but yeah, so that's why I think people may not have that recognition of his name as easily because his classic works are under group name. Yeah, but that's who he is. So,
Yeah, that's like the more you know. Learn something new today.
yeah, man.
You should already knew that, man.
I
You on brother
don't
probation
love
for a little bit. You can't hate
I
on
don't
that
love
for a
hip
little
hop
while.
like that.
But okay, I think so. Here's the issue. All right, he hates on everybody. All these other
This
rappers.
was
You say you
accurate
agree
hate, though.
with.
Accurate hate. What you disagree with that he said?
I don't disagree with the part about Eminem or Kendrick. Nobody really wanted to rap like them.
Okay, what else?
I just think he's just a known hater. I mean, who does he like? He only seems to like himself.
Busta
Busta
Rhymes.
Rhymes. That's
Okay,
it.
well,
Like
he didn't say he disliked people. He said certain people are better than others.
right. And then when they asked him about how would you make a top 50 list, I think this was a different interview because I like I said, when I just YouTube, I was listening to just different interviews and stuff. But I think he was saying like there's not 50 great MCs. Like he's just like it just seems like he has a very gatekeepy mentality. Like other people just can't get in. Like you got to
Of course he
do something
does. Of course he does. He's
monstrous
like
to get in.
actually a creator. So, I mean,
But that's the issue.
Look, man,
That's the issue. Why can't? So this is a bigger issue. Why can't? And I asked this question before. Newer artists ever move up the ladder? Why is there a effort from older hip hop pioneers to stop anyone else from moving up on the list?
you think that's the case? I mean, I don't feel like that's the case.
That's not hip hop. That's everything in life.
Okay, so well, you think that's everything?
Sports.
People still do that with sports all the time.
All
Like
the
nobody.
time.
No, wait. But people put LeBron on the list all the time. Like people want to call him the GOAT from the jump, from the get go.
But not older people.
But yeah,
There's no older. I mean, the people who are arguing on ESPN and stuff, not like a lot of them.
Oh, you mean like Shannon Sharp?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
like
he's
like
like
older
some
than me
young
for
dude.
sure.
Yeah,
But
so,
he's in the minority of older people because you go to a barbershop and you can look around and tell who's gonna say what. The old dude's gonna say Jordan, somebody else. The younger dude's probably gonna say LeBron.
They're gonna talk to us about Wilt Chamberlain. I don't want to hear it.
You say LeBron, huh, person?
Of course I say LeBron. Who else would I say? I've never seen Jordan play a game in my life.
But you can look at old videos. This is what I don't understand.
I can look at the stats and all the stats say LeBron. So
stats lie. Stats lie.
Okay.
You should be a Jordan fan because Jordan was playing lots of poker. Jordan loved to gamble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan, dog. I don't. Yeah, I got my own thing with older players. So yeah, it's LeBron to me.
All right. So then, all right, as a younger person, what's your issue with older players?
He never saw.
It's not as hard. The game is a lot. People have evolved. You don't see anyone...
I don't understand this argument because people score more than ever now. Right now, it's as easy as it could possibly be right now to score.
Yeah.
These stats, the stats that you love, are inflated as a mug.
Yeah, and they call it fouls for everything, though.
Okay.
They call it flagrants and text.
But if Giannis was dropped in the 80s, there'd be no solution for Giannis.
Giannis is a freak of nature.
They would have punched him in the stomach.
He would have the same issue he having right now.
Exactly.
He would be playing well, but he wouldn't be averaging 50. I mean, or whatever. He would have a lower point average, I think. But remember, they have more big men than
they were a ton of big men.
It was different. Right. It was the game was different.
Yeah, is Giannis gonna run through Elijah?
Exactly.
Yeah, he's not
running. You're gonna name 3 of the best of all time. That's fine.
Well, that's what we would have ran into.
Everybody else,
playoffs and finals.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Would he have beaten Shaq? Would he have beaten Elijah? Would he have beaten these people? That's
possibly yes. He's a freak, like you said.
If he did, then yes, we would be able. Not obviously, we can't do that, right? We can't go back in time. But if he could, then yes, we would. Like I would be the first to praise him. Yeah, he beat everybody.
And I think he could. Everybody couldn't though. Everybody couldn't. Steph Curry wouldn't.
Not everybody could. I'm not gonna say that either.
I think Steph Curry could play. I mean, you could shoot.
I think he could play, but Steph Curry wouldn't beat Steph Curry like this.
But you're talking about a rule like hand checking is a dumb rule. That's stupid to be able to grab somebody's hand while they're dribbling, or put your hand in front of them while they're dribbling. That's dumb. It's a dumb rule. So if Curry can get his shot off, then you can't. That's all-time great shooting. Like he can make it from anywhere. I don't understand how you stop him from being great ever. He's that good to me. Other shooters,
why is it stupid to be able to
get hit to where he'd be injured?
Hitting is stupid too. That's not a part of the game. That's stupid too.
I'm good with physical play if you're going to be consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really understand that. Yeah, I don't really.
My issue with today's NBA is they call a foul
for everything
for one person, then they don't call it for somebody else. So
and they call it so often. They stop the clock all the time. The free throws per game are way higher. The points per game are way higher. The stats don't match up, and you cannot even you can't use stats of today's era to judge people from 2 different eras because today's stats are so different from the other era stats. Today's average points per game are nothing like the average scores then were like 90 points. That's like
I think the difference is also just the game and change and stuff like that. So we don't need to compare those things. We just wanted to talk about how it's different. Older people do normally say that their era is better, man. You know what I mean? That's across the board in all of society.
In cars, everything. Old people love the older vehicles, like everything. Old people love things that everybody loves things from their era.
Okay, but is there somebody who's like a brand new Ferrari comes out and they're like, nah, that Ferrari's trash. The 67 version was the better version. Do you really? That's what people are saying?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I want the naturally aspirated engine. We had the V12s back then. Now these kids are using all of this, that. Like, yes, of course. They're going to say, we drove it manual. It was better. And
manual and automatic, that's different. That's not a...
No, but even still, they'll say that the way that the car drove, yes, there's people, people who are into cars are into old cars for,
Right.
Okay. All right. Okay. So then, all right. Then maybe it's just time-based bias. I don't like that type of this. So this is my thing. Whether it's art, and I do think if you play sport, whatever your craft is, if you play in sports, whether you rap, whatever you do, if you do it excellently, you do it well. I think it should be able to be viewed and upheld by all generations. You should be able anyone from any age should be able to see it and see it for its greatness, regardless of how much time has passed. And that is, that's why I enjoy talking about old music, the music that we reviewed. We have plenty of music we reviewed on this channel that came out before I was born or before I was, into hip hop. And I enjoy it. I enjoy talking about it. And I think that most of what we've talked about has held up and is interesting regardless of, how old it is. So I think that's part of the greatness. I dislike this idea that something is era locked, or like.
Well, how can we? So the thing with the music though is everybody got emotions and stuff, man. So music is all about emotions and stuff. So if I say I don't like, we talked about Kendrick. I don't love Kendrick Other people, we got people in the comments writing paragraphs on paragraphs talking about how, oh, every single album he ever wrote was a classic. Every song he ever made was emotional, and I cried every time I heard Mr. Morale. And I look at them like they're crazy, but they don't feel this. They don't get excited when they hear Ghostface. So the music stuff is very, very hard to like talk about between people. So a lot of people will put Kendrick up high. I don't think it's an era bias specifically, but it plays a ton into what you like.
Yeah, but I think that's everything in life too. Imagine like you're getting into basketball for the first time. You live in Chicago and you see Jordan winning a final. Like, of course, automatically that hit your heartstrings, hit close to home. Is gonna mean something different for you than it does for everybody else. That's anything in life. I mean, That's why some things are era locked, and it has to be that way. Like I always say, AI is era locked. He's a legend to everybody else, but if you look statistically, he's not a legend. He's not a top 10 point guard.
Punch yourself in the face, bro.
Yeah,
Punch yourself in the face.
He's not a top 10 point guard. You won't even say he's a top 10 point guard.
Nonsensical behavior out here.
You won't tell me he's a top 10 point guard.
Yes, I can. I can say it.
You can
really easily.
No, you can't.
I can't.
But you'd be wrong.
Okay, see,
you'd be wrong. No, he's not even. Is he even on the top 75 list? He's not, right?
I don't know. I don't be paying much attention to these lists. But he's definitely on the list. I promise you he's on the list. I promise you.
I'm pretty sure he's not. I gotta look this up.
So pull it up. He's on the list. All right. I disagree with this. I think people should rate things objectively. You have to put feelings aside, whatever emotions you have, attachments.
He was at 40.
Things. Number 40. All right. So I think to me, that's not that hard to do. Put things aside, put my emotions aside and listen to something objectively. I just don't know why. I mean, otherwise, what's the point of you talking or rating something? I mean, if you can't try to be objective, So let's talk about that.